Hi guys. Having internet issues, so I'm just gonna record some videos since I had this all set up ready to go. What I'm gonna do is make a miniature version of this book right here, and the first time I saw anything like this was Jane Davenport had done the Peerless watercolors in a book, a flat book. And this idea, this one here with the thicker book, came from Heather Bunny, Bunny Designs in the UK, and I really like her idea, what she did. She took a little 4x6 photo album and folded paper and then folded her sample sheet on top of that and then attached the samples to that. So this is totally changeable, refillable, all that stuff. So I have my Peerless in here. I have all the Peerless colors. And next comes the ink tints. I have all the ink tints. So I had done the ink tints. I don't have a proper color chart. I really need to do that. But I'll work on it. The main part is done. So that's in here. And then Neocolor 2s. Now I only have 30 some odd Neocolor 2s. But there's plenty of room in the book. And I'm ready for more. So I can do that whenever. So what you do is you make your page and you scribble the Neo 2s or the ink tints onto the page, and Heather has a great video for how to do this. So yeah, go and see Heather at Bunny Designs, and I will try to put a link below this video in the description box for y'all. But anyway, I'm going to make a miniature version of this because this it's a little bulky, it's a little big. This is my standard kit that I take sketching. And this goes along with that, plus the Moleskine sketchbook, which, well, I thought I had it. It was over here on the desk. Hello. Yeah, the Moleskine, or this one is a Pentalic sketchbook. So this is the kit, that I would have to take if I took this. That's a little bit bulky. Won't fit in my purse either. My purse is pretty big. But this does pretty well. So anyway, I wanted to make a miniature version of this that's portable, so I don't have to carry the Neo 2s around with me. Carrying these in Texas in the heat, which we have most of the year, these will melt really fast. So I can't leave them in the truck. I can't even, take them very far without running the risk of them melting all over the place. So unless I carry them in a cooler, that's the only way that would work. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to make a miniature version. So I was just thinking about it and remembering what Heather had done here. And so this is my little prototype. So what I did was I took 3x4 Ziploc bags. I know you can't really see that unless I shine a light on it. There we go. 3x4 bags from Hobby Lobby. Okay, and that's where I get mine from. 3x4 on the inside. Okay, and I have a lot of scraps of watercolor paper of all kinds. There's watercolor paper, there's Bristol, there, all this kind of stuff. Okay, so I had a lot of scraps, and so I some of them were already 3 inches, so that's helpful. So what I did was I took a couple pieces and just played. Okay, so this is my prototype, and it's not attached or anything, but I just took a little folder. Okay, just folded it up. I took 2 of the little Ziploc bags and cut off the end, and I cut off the Ziploc part, the zipper part. Okay, and all I did with this one was I just stuck a rubber band inside of it, just like we do the faux dories, and folded it over and folded the flap in, and that was my basic idea. Now, as for the pages, they're going to be a little differently done because okay, on this album, the openings are on the inside, okay? So I had to figure out how to get this to work in a bigger version. Yeah, I got my measurements written down here so I can tell you. All right. So right now I've got a rubber band on it to hold it shut. But here is my little prototype of the real one I'm going to make here in a minute. And I'm going to take y'all through all the steps. Heavy watercolor paper is the cover. Okay. And that one is 3x6. Cover is 3x6, and I just used the scraps of what I had. So the watercolor paper came in a spiral, so of course I unspiral these things and just use the paper. And from the measurements, that's what I had left from whatever the project was I was doing. I don't really remember right now. But anyway, so what happens is you take your baggie and you cut off the zipper part right close to the zipper. Cut off the zipper, get rid of that. Then you want to open this other end, so you take a sliver of this off, and this is really hard to see. And then you have to make sure you get all the plastic picked up, or else it ends up all over the floor. So now essentially what I have is a tube of the plastic bag. Okay, and you do this for however many pages you'd like. And for mine, I have 5 actual pages that are tucked into the plastic sleeve. So you want 3 Ziploc bags. So I'm going to go ahead and do the 3. And you'll see how this works as I go along. I guess this is the only way to do it. Just do it. Could use bigger scissors, but you know how that goes. But anyway, you cut off a little sliver of this end so you have an open tube. And I'm going to do that 3 times because I'm going to have 6 actual pages, if you will, in my little book. Okay, get all those cut. Now, what I want to do is you stack those together. Okay, and they're ready to go. Now you put those aside for a minute because you got other things to do first. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. You see it's going to get stapled in the center. All right, so my cover, I'm going to actually make a cover out of some watercolor test sheets that I had. Okay, so I was testing the watercolor from the Lewis book, and I made just a little frame out of a piece of leftover acetate and some washi tape that's 3x6. Okay, so I can get my cover. So I was, I can position it and see where I want it. So I think I'm going to go down here with it like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to go right there. Okay, so what I want to do is cut here. Got my paper cutter. I'm going to grab my little paper cutter. Okay. Instead of dragging out the great big one. Of course, it's going to be hard. I'm going to have to trim some of this off of here first and get rid of it so I can maneuver it in my little cutter. Like I said, I don't want to drag out the great big one, so we're going to do this little one. Okay, and this is just, scrap anyway, so that goes in the bin and get out of the way. Okay, now I want to do the actual cuts the best way I can get it with the I've got going on here. Okay, there we go. Now I can line it up. Okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It's just, it's a thing to carry around. You don't have to be exactly perfect. It doesn't really, it's not that big a deal if it's not exactly perfect. Okay, 3 inches, and make sure that's where I wanted it, and chop. Okay, now move the scraps aside. Okay, so here is my cover. All right, here's my cover. I've got my little scoreboard. See, here's my little cover. All right, so I've got my little scoreboard here. And what I want to do is make a line at 3 Let's see, I always forget which way it goes. And I don't really care which way is up or down. It really doesn't make any difference. But I want to do, I'm sorry, not 3. This has to get this is going to get folded in half. So 2 3/4 by 4, maybe a little bit less, is what the paint card size is. And when you fold that over, you come right up on 2 inches. So I'm going to double check that with the ruler here. Oh, hello, I always get them backwards. Yeah, so 2 inches. So I'm going to fold this at 2 inches. And I'm just going to do this one. Okay, just the one side. Okay, and then I'm going to reinforce this. Okay, so this is now the front. This part's going to come and fold over this way, but not just yet. You don't want to fold that until you get your pages in there and see exactly where that's going to get folded. Okay. All right, so you cut your pages. Okay. Now what I did was just take some scraps of your watercolor paper, okay, or your Bristol, whatever you're going to use, and you want to be sure that you get that inside there, and you want to make sure it's going to fit in your bag. So you take one of your little bags, and you may have to trim them just a little bit. Just take a hair off to get them in there. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. Okay, so I'm going to have to trim them a little bit just to get them in there. I don't want to cut too much off because if it shakes around too much, I don't like it when it moves too much. So I'm just going to do that. All right, I'm going to move this little guy for a minute. And I want to trim just a little hair off of these 3-inch ones, just a little bit. That way they'll fit in the bag. Okay. Yeah, see, there's not too much movement. I like that. That's much better. Okay, and I'm using the watercolor paper for this. Even though it's thick, I think I'm going to like it better. So if you want to cut these a little shorter than 3 inches to begin with, that would be good too. Then you wouldn't have to come back and do it. I think I need 5 pieces. Just that little hair. I mean, it just just that little bit makes a big difference in getting it in the bag. Now, all these bags may not be created equal, so it just depends on the machine calibration and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so, all right, I've got these cut. Move that little fella out of the way again. All right, now what I want to do is put a fold in these with my little score pal here. This is the little one. It's just so much easier when I'm streaming. Okay, so on 2. Well, these again, they measure. The bags are 3 by 4. These are 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, or a little bit more. Okay, so 2. Okay, maybe 2 7/8 by 4 7/8. I don't know. I mean 3 7/8. Sorry. It's not an exact science. You just measure stuff as you go, and if it doesn't fit, trim it. And for me, it doesn't matter which side is up. I think I've got 5 now. Okay, move this little guy out of the way. Okay, and here's my cover, and here's the inside. See, it just fits on the inside of the cover before you fold it. Okay, so anyway, you want to reinforce the folds. Let me put this over here. So you want to reinforce the folds, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it's just, you know, it's a reusable thing. You're gonna use it and then make another one or refill them or whatever. And this is tough. This is 140 watercolor paper on my prototype, I used 90-pound. It was much easier to fold. Okay, so this is how these are now. So we've got our 5. Okay, so now we take the cover and you take your 3 bags that you cut, and these are very slippery, so I like to use these little, what they call banker's clips, to hold these puppies down together while I center it on the cover. Okay. Now, come to think of it, I'm going to do it this way. Is that what I did? I think that's what I did. Yes, I did. Okay, so the front folds this way. Yeah, front folds this way, and here's the flap. Okay. Yeah, so what I did was I stapled it on center where the fold is. Yeah. Now, this is only the 3rd time I've tried this, so bear with me here, folks. Okay, now I've got my tiny attacher here. And if I can get these to be still long enough, and clip it to the cover here. Okay, now I take my tiny attacher, and it just so happens that this is the perfect size to fit right there on that fold. So basically you just put it in there and staple it on the fold. Okay, and I put 2. I mean, that's plenty. You know, you can do 3 if you want to, but you know, there you go. Just 2 staples, about a 1/2 inch in from the ends. Okay, now I can take the little clips off. Move my tiny attacher. All right, and this will fold over, but not yet. Okay, so the procedure is you take one of your folded watercolor papers, you slip it in to the sleeve. This is the hardest part, okay? Getting it in here, especially when I'm trying to do it on camera. Of course, it's not cooperating. There we go. Okay. Now, when it's partially in here, okay, these things are going to be really slippery. So what you have to do is you put a little piece of double stick right in the middle. Okay, and the way I do that so that it's not, so it doesn't catch on my way out, is you take a little piece, and you don't need much, like a 1/2 inch, if that. Stick it down there. Okay, and once you get it in there, then you can peel the sticky off, but you want to make sure that you've got your plastic up. So, you know, you can stick like a bone folder or something in there to hold it while you peel this off, because otherwise you got the sticky sticking when you're not ready to have it stick. Okay, and then you push it all the way down in there. Okay, push it down in there. Make sure you get it where you want it. Now, you don't want it too close. It needs room to move, so it's got to breathe a little bit. And then you stick it down. Okay, so if you can see, there's a little bit of a space at the bottom, and this sticky down. Here's the flap, fold it over, and there's a page. And you put your color here. Then when you fold the next one, and I'll show you what it's going to do, this one in. So what it does, once it's in, well, it's not staying, it's very slippery, that's why the sticky. Okay, so you see what happens is, let me show you in this one. Okay, so where I'm at right now, I've got this one in, it's stuck down, you fold it over. Here's the plastic. So here's your color, here's your plastic. So your page, your colors are protected by the acetate, okay, by the plastic. Just like in the big one here, that the page is right next to the plastic one, so that protects the color. It's the same thing here. Okay, it's up in miniature and backwards because the opening is here instead of on the inside. Yeah, this took a few minutes. Okay, so that's where that is. All right, so we just continue doing that until you get all your pages inside, and then it quits being a little fiddly. So you want to bring it out. Once you got to stick it in there. It's just much easier to stick it in there first. Of course, you could put the sticky on and then stick it in there. It doesn't really make that much difference. But a helper is quite nice, especially since this plastic, the plastic protection pages are a little fiddly. They're very soft, and so you want to get it in there. And yeah, unfold that and get it out of the way because it just gets in the way big time. Okay, and stick it down in there where you want it. Make sure you can move the page and then stick it down. Okay, so there's 2 pages. All right, so I'm going to open those up and get them out of the way while I do the rest of these. And like I said, what you could do is go ahead and put your score tape or whatever double stick tape you have, and go ahead and production line those. Get them down in there. Now all you have to do is peel that off. Okay, so next process. Take that, put it in there. Get your helpful item, which is my bone folder in this case because I'm a klutz. And slide your card down in there. Gets a little fiddly. Yeah, there we go. All right, slide your card down, but give it some wiggle room. Push it a little bit with your nails and flatten that out. All right, and there's another one. Make sure it closes. Good. Now this score tape will come off. I don't know what it'll do to the bag because the bag is little, so you may have to like redo the whole thing if you took it off, but I don't know since I haven't taken it off yet. So we shall see. All right, make sure everything fits. Get my helper. Peel the backing off. And yeah, I'm a little shaky this morning, guys, so that's the diabetes talking. Okay, I'm hung. Where am I hung? I don't know. Over there on the side. Okay, it was a little tense. All right. Ah, see, I'm so shaky I can't get it this morning. Be nice, be nice. A little cooperation would be good. Okay, I think I've got it now. Lay it down and push it a little bit out. There we go. So that page folds in and we're good. And it folds back over. We're good. One more. Now the extra sheet will protect the front of this one, even though it doesn't have anything in it. Or on it, I guess I should say. Okay, get that in there. I know you guys can probably figure out an easier way for you guys to do this, but that's an individual thing. Get it in there the best way you can. Okay. All right. And the bone folder is also across the tape so that it doesn't stick before I'm ready. All right. There we go. That seemed to work pretty well. Okay, now here's the last protector. So this will protect this page. This protects this page, etc., etc. So now I'm going to fold it all together like so. Bring this around, and now we can do the matchbook type fold over. Now that we can see where we need that to go, we can go ahead and fold that over and sort of make a crease. Okay. And you can finish this off any way you'd like. You can laminate, there's all kinds of ways to figure. I just wanted it functional. Okay. You can finish it any other way you want. And I just, you can just get a rubber band and finish it up. And so there we go. There's a little book. And then you put all your colors on your sheets, just like in the big one. You put your colors here. And you could also, since these open up, you could put colors on the inside because they'll be protected by this piece. So you could have double duty. Or you could go ahead and stick that part down too if it gets in your way. So there we go. It's all the little pages. So essentially there's 5 places to put color, possibly 10 if you do the inside, because like I said, they'll be protected by this piece of plastic. Ta-da, ta-da. So there you go. And you can put washi tape or something over here on the edge to protect the staples, because I wear a lot of knitting and I don't like my knitting to be snagged, so I would put something here to protect it, even if it's just Scotch tape, you know, clear Scotch tape. That would work just as well. You can angle the corners so they don't get dinged up. That's the reason that I made it 3 inches, because when you make something longer than your inside pages, the outsides get bent real easy, and so I wanted to avoid that. So anyway, you can use rubber bands, you can use hair bands. I mean, you know, the grand girls have some hair bands here that I'll snag one and use it. But yeah, so all I have to do now is decide what colors to put on it. And it's about the size of a credit card. Here's my paint scraper thingy. So you can see that it's approximately the size of a credit card, but not quite. And it's a little bit thicker. You can put fewer pages. You can just do 2 pages if you want. If you just need like flesh color, something like that. So yeah. So anyway, that's my little idea. And I don't know what I'm going to call it. A miniature watercolor book? Miniature watercolor palette? I don't know. I'll figure it out before I upload. Okay. Anyway, that's my contribution for this morning. And I will see you guys later, hopefully without internet issues. Maybe I'll actually get to stream. Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye.